Thank you. Good.
Thanks. Can everyone see that? No. Can everyone see my screen? You can't, can you? Yes? Share screen. Let's do it again. Here we are. Okay, everyone see that? Just give me a wave. Yep, all right.
Sorry, the internet's just fallen over.
Oh, no, my internet's all right. My wife just said we've lost our internet, but I haven't.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome. Good to see you all. In response to the survey that Paul did about what we should be doing, we're presenting this this little talk on Netflix and other video streaming services. It should take 20-25 minutes, and after that we'll have a question and answer session. I'll be looking at services which you can get on your smartphone, on your tablet, on your PC or your smart TV. And we'll be looking at how to connect and what's on. There'll be a companion piece on next week, which we'll tell you about at the end of this session. So what are we on about? Well, there are a lot of apps and websites which will let you watch video, and some of them are live. Some of you may have gone to some of them, use some of them. You can do concerts. I've been to a virtual concert. I've sort of looked over my wife's shoulder at a virtual funeral just the other day, and there's all kinds of live things, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about video streaming services on demand. You look at a menu and you choose what you want to watch and when you want to watch it. And these things are driven by apps, which you can download onto your phone or your tablet, or which also reside on your TV, your smart TV, or some sort of a box. Now, these apps are always free, but of course the content itself isn't free, so you may have to pay for that, but some of it's free. You can also do it on your PC as well as on your smart other devices. Now, most of you probably know about the free services, but we'll just go through it for completeness. Certainly, if you watch the ABC, everything that's on ABC, when they do a promo, they say it's on ABC and iView, and everything is. There's also the SBS service, which is very comprehensive. And then there's the commercial ones. Some of them require you to set up an account, but that's just a one-off thing. And they also have commercial breaks, except for the ABC. But the good news about that is that the commercial breaks on the SBS and on the commercial ones aren't nearly as long as the annoying up to 4-minute sequence of ads that they have on live TV. So there are many fewer ads, much shorter commercial breaks on these catch-up services. And they are catch-up. If you miss something, you can watch them, but sometimes there's a time limit on how long you have to watch them. Partly that's because I think they want to sell them on DVDs or other pay services in due course. So you may only have a little while to watch them. Other times you have ages. You can have months and months, and all the services have old programs as well. Like you can get old series of Home and Away, I think, and old ABC programs, all kinds of stuff. But one thing the commercial ones don't have is their movies. So if you missed last night's movie on Channel 9 or something, well, you won't find that on there. But SBS and the ABC do have movies. SBS has lots and lots of movies, hundreds of them, and a lot of very good ones. They also just about all have material which has never been broadcast for one reason or another. Like the other afternoon, I was feeling in a cultural sort of mood, so I watched a ballet on ABC iView. It went for 2 hours. The other thing they will let you do is they let you watch TV channels live. Now, the obvious reason you'd want to do that is because you aren't anywhere near a TV antenna or something, like you're out and about. But there's another reason why I do it sometimes, and I'm not sure if it applies to everyone, but my TV antenna points north to the Central Coast. And when there's a thunderstorm on, the signal gets completely pixelated and it just falls out all the time. And often thunderstorms happen on a summer evening when you're watching TV. And if that happens, you can just switch over onto your iView or whatever and watch it there, because that comes through the internet. which is not degraded by atmospheric conditions. There's other free services. There are lots and lots of them, but I only watch a few. And one of them is YouTube. Most of us, I think we all know about YouTube, but whenever I talk to Computer Pals customers, a lot of them are not fully aware of the scope of stuff on YouTube. Some of them just see cute videos of animals and stuff, people being funny or even not so funny. But it's got a lot of old movies, old TV shows. It's got historical news reels, like you can watch the opening of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or Phar Lap winning the 1930 Melbourne Cup, or the Queen's visit in 1954, or anything like that. And National Film and Sound Archive material. Lots of good stuff there if you look for it. A lot of music. You can have short clips, but whole concerts, as I said. No, this was I watched a ballet on ABC iView. But YouTube's got a heap of ballets and operas and concerts and how to do stuff, like how to take your computer apart, or how to sand your floor, or how to cook things, all kinds of stuff like that. So YouTube's a terrific resource. One which I discovered relatively recently, like a year or two back, is Canopy, which shows movies and documentaries. You get onto that by using your Northern Beaches library card. You register once and you can watch movies and documentaries with a very good Australian selection, but other stuff as well. In fact, the number of fairly recent movies as well as old ones. And one app I discovered recently is just called Old Movies, and it has public domain movies from the silent era to the 1970s. I actually watched a good silent movie the other week called Sunrise. It won Oscars in 1927, just before the talkies came out, and very good print and very good quality thing, and a good movie too. Other ways you can get movies is on some internet plans, you get free movies on a set-top box, but I'll be talking more about boxes next week rather than this week. So that's the free stuff, and you can pretty well spend all your time watching free stuff. But if you want to pay for things on a pay-per-view basis as opposed to subscription, which we'll be coming to, there's a bunch of them. And one which I find useful is Google Play Movies. They have recent movies very often, but they've got older ones as well. Some of them are so recent that I have watched movies on Google Play for about $6, which were on at the very same time at the Avalon Cinema. Now, I know it's a different experience, but some movies, especially not big movies, they look fine on your biggish TV screen, and and especially in these times when A, there's not that many movies on, and B, you're much safer at home. You can watch a recent movie on Google Play. So they cost $6, maybe $8 for new movies. Some older ones are only $2 or $3, $4. Not only can you rent them, usually when you rent them, you've got 48 hours to watch them, and you can watch them as many times as you like in that time. But you can also buy them, which means you download them and keep them for $20 for a fairly recent movie, and not much for other movies, for older ones. They also have TV series, either by the episode or full series. I already mentioned YouTube, but as well as being the platform for free things, it also has pay-per-view. That seems to overlap with Google, which isn't surprising since Google actually owns YouTube. So, but you can find them on your YouTube app. Another good one, this is especially useful if you're a Telstra Big Pond customer, but anyone can get it, is Telstra TV Box Office. They've got a lot of movies, TV episodes, similar pricing to the others. And another service which does much the same thing is PlayStation Video. So now we've covered free things and pay-per-view. And but then there's the subscription streaming services. Here you set up an account, you pay $8 to $20 a month, And once you've paid for that, you can watch whatever you like. Very often the first month or the first week or some other amount of period is free. Well, I understand Netflix has just recently abolished its free introductory offer, but the others, especially the newer ones, you can get a certain amount of free time on them. What you do is you register. You do give them your credit card, but they don't take it off until the end of the free period, and you can just opt out of it before then. You can opt out of these things any time. I've been on Stan, I've been on Netflix, and I've switched between them, and there's no problem at all. All except KO. KO has sport, and once again that's streaming, not live sport. So you can watch, old cricket matches or even a recently completed football match. One of the things they promise to do is not to spoil it. So if you miss the rugby league match and you don't know the result, they got some system in there so that you don't get to know the result until you want to or until it's over. So those last two on the screen there, KO and Binge, they're fairly new, especially Binge. It's a Facebook product, a Foxtel product, but much cheaper than the old Foxtel, which was really often $100 a month and good for recent movies and sport, but very expensive. So everyone knows Netflix. Stan is very similar. You got Amazon Prime Video. You got Apple TV Plus, which is fairly new. Disney Plus, 10 All Access. Channel 10 is associated with CBS in America, so there's quite a lot of material there. And Binge and KO, as I've said. So they're pretty cheap. The pricing varies a little bit on how many devices you want to have there as a limit at the one time, or you pay a bit more for extra high definition and so on. But I think this Netflix I pay for costs about $14, which gives me high definition and a couple of screens. You get a bit cheaper than that. And because they're so cheap, you can have more than one. You get for $30, you can get 2 or 3 of them. And some people do that. But I've already mentioned the free ones earlier, and they could well keep you happy. I do have a Netflix account, but sometimes I go for a month without using it. Now, their content does change over time and sometimes moves between platforms. Like a little while ago, Stan had just about every Disney movie that was ever on. But then Disney set up its own service, so it's very hard to get anything about Disney on anything other than Disney Plus. And other movies and TV series do move between platforms. But one of the things that makes you that they try to get you to do theirs rather than another one is that they're all now getting exclusive content, and they're getting some very high quality movies like The Irishman, which was a gangster movie, but I think it was in the running for an Academy Award, or maybe that's the next Academy Award. That's on Netflix. Tom Hanks's latest movie, Greyhound, which is about American submarine captain or submarine during World War II, highly acclaimed. That's available on Apple TV Plus. And there's a whole bunch of TV series. Most of us have heard of The Crown, which is what made me go over to Netflix. And the sensation Tiger King, and the very amusing No Activity, which is or was on Stan. But there's a million others. And if you want to know, if you read the Sydney Morning Herald on Mondays, where they have the TV guide, they review things, various programs, and they tell you what platform they're on. Okay, all these things I've mentioned up to now, they're all easily available getting an app on your phone or your iPad or your other tablet, or a website on your PC. But most of them look better on a big screen TV. Now, if you've got a smart TV, there's no problem. Well, not much of a problem. You go to the appropriate menu, you select the service, click on a few things, and go ahead. There's a menu, and you can just watch your movie or your TV show or whatever. But even the smartest of TVs if your TV is not smart, well then come back next week and I'll tell you how to make it smart. Even the smartest of TV won't show all of these. I've got a Sony Android, which is 5 years old, and it's pretty good, got most of them, but it won't show all of them. So one thing you can learn to do, and even though I consider myself a bit of a computer and technology nerd, I didn't even learn this until, well, a couple of years ago now, and that is if you have it on your phone or your iPad or whatever, you can get it onto your TV, as long as it's a smart TV, if you see this little symbol here. And if you click on that, as long as your TV is on the same Wi-Fi as your phone or your tablet, and it's turned on, of course. Well, it doesn't really, it just has to be on standby. If you click on that, it'll say, do you want to cast to this device? I've actually got 2 devices I've got a choice of casting to. You choose the device, and lo and behold, it appears on your big TV. And it appears very nicely too. There's a nice, I cast something from my phone to my TV just the other day, and it worked beautifully. And any app you see this on, you see it on Google Photos as well. If you're looking at your photos on your phone and you're near your TV, click on that and you get a slideshow on your TV. So it's a good little thing. And finally, just for completeness, you can actually go beyond what I've said here, and you can watch US Netflix or BBC catch up, all kinds of things, but you can't easily do them because they're geo-blocked for copyright reasons. So if you want to do that, you can get yourself a virtual private network. Now that's beyond the scope of this seminar here, but all I'm flagging is there are ways of doing that, but you can look into that yourself or ask someone. So basically that's it. We'll put it open for questions.
Okay, thanks, Gerd. I'm going to unmute you all. You all know the system pretty well. So if you do want to ask Gerd a question, put your hand up and we'll try and take you in sequential order, if that's okay. John.
Hello, Gerd. There's one other you didn't mention, BAME Film.
Well, there's dozens of them I didn't mention.
Okay, it's quite a big one for where you can do it from the library.
What's it called?
BAME Film. BEAMA Film.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's heaps of them.
It's a bit like Canopy.
Okay.
Not available to the northern beaches.
Okay.
Okay.
It's probably a silly question, but what is a set-top box?
That's not a silly question. There's no silly questions. If you go to, say, Optus or Telstra's websites and you look at the internet options they have there, some of them will say, we'll give you all this internet, plus we'll give you, Optus will say, we'll give you a thing called a fetch box. Telstra will say they give you a Telstra box, and various other people will also give you fetch boxes. It's a little electronic box which allows you, well, which makes, that's what I'm going to talk about next week. Basically, it got all these apps and things on it. One end hooks into the internet, either through Wi-Fi or an Ethernet card or some line or something. Other end goes in HDMI onto your TV, and it shows you you know, your Netflix and your stand and so on. The more expensive boxes will allow you to record TV too, but that's not so much necessary anymore since we have these services. Yeah, and they usually cost you an extra $10 a week, or you can buy them as well to own outright.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Mary.
Yes, I'll have one. Look, I'm good at the Freetoair one, so we've got the SBS On Demand, the iView, etc., and some other things. We do the Canopy, those sorts of bits and pieces, but never had Netflix or Stan. So from what you've said, tell me if I'm wrong, please, but I download the app to my phone and I use Chromecast to put it onto the TV after I've obviously signed up and given over my credit card details. Is that right, please?
Well, your Chromecast should have it built in.
Okay, so but it doesn't come up on the TV. We've got old TVs.
Well, the Chromecast, well, I haven't really fully researched this yet. We're doing that next week. But as I understand it, Chromecast should have, maybe it doesn't. I thought it had Netflix and Stan on it. But if it doesn't, yeah, you get it on your phone and then cast it onto your Chromecast.
All right, good. Thanks very much.
That definitely works. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, next one, Cherie.
Cherie.
Gerd, at the end of the talk you just gave, you were mentioning about the little icon up in the corner.
Yep.
That you just go onto that and it casts it through to the TV. What do you have to have the TV on? What do you have to have it programmed on for it to go across?
Nothing at all. As long as it's a smart TV and it's not completely off, like it can be asleep, it can be on standby.
Yeah.
You just touch it, it'll turn the TV on.
Yeah.
As long as it's set up right, and it certainly does it on mine. So you just touch that little symbol, the TV will turn on.
Yeah.
And within a couple of seconds, it'll show, you'll see your phone screen on there.
Because I've just gone into my photos on my phone, because you said you can do it on that, and I can't find that little symbol on my phone.
Well, on my phone, I've got two lots of photos. I've got the native app of the phone.
Yeah.
But I've also, and that one won't do it, but Google Photos will.
Oh,
you got an Android phone?
I've got an Apple.
Well, that should do it. As long as you might have to be in some other app. If you can't see it, well, there's two reasons why you can't see it. Number one, because the app doesn't have it. But number two, your phone can't see the TV for some reason or other.
Okay.
If the phone can't see the TV, the symbol won't come up.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's explained why. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you.
Chris.
I had a question in a minute, but first of all, I'm just wondering, Sherry, if you've got an Apple, you might need screen mirroring.
I may need what, sorry?
There's something called screen mirror or screen mirroring, and you get it by just pulling down gently from the top of your phone.
Oh, okay.
Slide down and then you press on screen mirror. Is anybody else more technical?
Well, I've done that, and I've got the torch and the camera icon.
Try swiping different ways. Maybe somebody else who uses Apple could.
But you can, I mean, I don't own an Apple, but my wife does, and certainly that symbol comes on hers. So it's a universal symbol. It's on both Android and Apple, but it doesn't show up if you are both on the same Wi-Fi or something like that.
It's the same Wi-Fi. Anyway, I'll play around with it.
You look into it. I'm sure you can work it out. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll ask you next week.
Yep.
Jim.
I'm always asking questions. I'm sorry.
Jim, did you want to have a word?
I was just going to say, if you're on an Apple, the best thing to mirror to is an Apple TV. And the more modern smart TVs have Apple TV functionality built in. But if you don't have an Apple TV, you won't see the mirroring option.
But you see it on my 5-year-old Sony.
Yeah, but Apple is Apple.
No, but you see the Apple on it. I mean, it works from the iPhone to the Sony.
That's right. You've got the built-in equivalent of an Apple TV, but not all TVs have that.
Okay.
And Apple Pictures will not, I don't think, ever allow you to cast, but you can mirror, because they're not too keen on using Google tools.
I saw casting and mirroring. Yeah, they're slightly different, aren't they?
Chromecasting is a Google functionality, and it's in any apps that support it. Primarily the Google Photos apps and similar apps, and you don't get that in the Apple written apps. They're not there.
Okay.
Chris.
I did have just a quick question, a technical one. When you were talking about SBS iView, no, sorry, SBS, whatever it's called, the catch-up one.
On demand, yeah.
It is true that the ads are much shorter than they are on the originals, but what I find often with SBS is they freeze. Does anybody else come up with that? That you're sitting there and you've only got a couple of ads, but the screen just freezes completely.
I have had that,
You
but not
can do with
lately. Not some months ago that used to happen to me.
No.
And I can't remember how I got over it. I think I just restarted the TV or the modem or something, but it
Yeah.
doesn't happen to me these days.
I sit and wait patiently and read a book. But
No.
I just wondered if there was something. I know that pressing the buttons, the forward buttons, doesn't help. But
Yeah, as I said, I've had that, but not for a while. Actually, I think I eventually found out it was a function of the poor internet connection. Actually, have you checked your internet speeds, your NBN speeds?
yeah, but they're as high as they'll go. So I just have to be patient and live with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks.
Any more questions? Well, I would suggest if you haven't booked in for Gerd's presentation next Tuesday, which is how to make your TV smarter, or whatever you want to do with it, that you book in through our number 806435574 or avpals.com.au. And if you want to watch this segment again, it'll be up on our website probably by tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about next week.